Whenever new technologies are introduced, people always have concerns about them. Some of these concerns turn out to not be a big deal, while others are important. For example, cars have fundamentally changed the way we live, but they can also be dangerous. It's important to analyze these issues and separate the important ones from the unimportant ones. New technologies also challenge our current way of thinking and often require new policies and regulations. The press has focused on the risks and potential negative impacts of AI, which can lead to an incomplete understanding of the issues at hand. The field of AI ethics is new and still developing, so there are few established issues and no clear answers to many ethical questions. This video aims to focus on the most important ethical issues surrounding AI and robotics. Artificial intelligence refers to any computational system that displays intelligent behavior, which can include limited learning and reasoning abilities, or more advanced general intelligence. AI has a unique relationship with humans due to its goal of creating machines that emulate human intelligence, and this has led to the field of the philosophy of AI. Yet the term AI has undergone a historical shift in meaning, at times being narrowed and then broadened again in recent years. In the current climate of AI development, many people are talking about the need for new policies, but the topic of AI ethics is not as simple as it sounds. There are many different types of policies to consider, such as incentives, funding, taxation, and regulation, and any of these can come into conflict with policy surrounding other technologies. Therefore, we are currently faced with the risk that regulation will remain weak in the face of economic and political power. Nevertheless, there are some beginnings, such as the latest EU policy document that suggests that AI should be lawful, ethical, and technically robust. Professional ethics and responsible research and innovation are also being discussed in the field of information technology, and some suggest creating a code of ethics for AI engineers, similar to those for medical doctors. One of the major ethical issues surrounding the use of AI systems concerns privacy and surveillance. As AI can collect and analyze data in ways that were not previously possible, there are concerns about who has access to this data and how it is used. In the end, these technologies will know more about us than we know about ourselves, and this will be unsettling. AI can use this information to try and manipulate our behavior. It can also be used to create fake images and videos, making it hard to know what's real and what's not. While the EU General Data Protection Regulation has strengthened privacy protection, the US and China prefer growth with less regulation, allowing for increased invasion of privacy and manipulation with the help of AI technology. Policy must therefore work to rein in state and business actors in the interest of general society. Many AI systems rely on machine learning techniques that use neural networks to extract patterns from data. These patterns are labeled to make decisions, but the programmer may not know what data the system has used, and so the outcome of the system is opaque. Furthermore, if the data used in the system already contains biases, the system will reproduce those biases. To address these issues, there are technical efforts underway to develop explainable AI that can help identify biases and power structures in computational systems. However, this does not mean that AI systems will be able to explain their reasoning in the way that humans can. The EU's regulation includes a right to explanation, but its enforceability is dubious. The ethical problems of today are sometimes the result of technical shortcuts AI has taken, and democratic decision-making may be at risk if we rely on a system that cannot explain its decisions. Automated AI decision support systems and predictive analytics use data to produce decisions. These decisions can range from simple to significant, such as restaurant recommendations to organ donor assignments. These systems may perpetuate bias in the data they use, leading to unfair judgments. There are three basic forms of bias: learned bias in individuals, cognitive bias in human thinking, and statistical bias in data. Attempts to remove bias from AI systems are in early stages, and technological solutions may be limited by the difficulty of defining mathematical notions of fairness. AI can be used to manipulate humans, but it can also drive problematic robots. Robots with deceptive processes or appearance that threaten human dignity violate the requirement of respect for humanity. Humans empathize with objects that resemble living beings, which lead them to be deceived into attributing more intellectual or emotional significance to AI systems than they deserve. Artificial intelligence and robotics will surely increase our productivity, but this will mean that fewer humans are needed for the same output. However, more available wealth can lead to increased demand, which may lead to the creation of more jobs. In the past, major disruptions have occurred in the job market due to automation, and the effects of digital automation may be more radical than classic automation because it replaces human thought and information processing, while also being cheaper to duplicate. Highly skilled technical jobs and low-skilled service jobs may increase in demand, while mid-qualification jobs may fall under pressure, as these jobs are relatively predictable and are most likely to be automated. There are also concerns about the just distribution of wealth in an AI-driven economy, because the industry operates in a largely unregulated environment, where responsibility is often hard to allocate, and markets foster a winner-takes-all environment, in which monopolies develop quickly. Machine ethics refers to the study of how machines, including AI, can behave in ways that are ethical or morally acceptable. This involves making sure that machines interact with humans and other machines in ways that do not cause harm and take into account different cultural values and ethical considerations. Amy van Winsberg, president of the Foundation for Responsible Robotics, believes that machines can be responsible for their actions and make ethical decisions, while others see them more as tools that can be programmed to follow ethical rules. Science fiction writer Isaac Asimov even proposed laws for robots, but these will be difficult to implement in practice. A machine that has been taught to have morals and to be responsible for its actions would be an artificial moral agent. However, this very idea challenges many ethical concepts that we apply to humans, and so the term artificial moral agent may more accurately refer to a machine that is simply programmed to act in a certain way. Understandably, there is still debate about what exactly machine ethics means, and whether it is even possible for machines to have ethics in the way that humans do. Many philosophers believe that true ethics is tied to being a conscious being with free will, but it is of course perfectly possible for a human to regard a machine as having acted in an ethical way. As a final consideration, before we move on to the topic of machine consciousness, researchers are currently debating as to whether robots should have rights like humans do. Some argue that we should treat robots as if they have rights, even if they don't really have them, and others argue that robots should not have rights because they are not living beings. When we consider the possibility of machines gaining consciousness, the problem is heightened, for then we would have a moral obligation not to harm them or terminate their existence. Some people are calling for a moratorium on synthetic phenomenology, which is an effort to prevent the creation of machines with consciousness until we figure out how to deal with these ethical issues. Artificial General Intelligence, or AGI, applies to machines which can perform any intellectual task that a human can do. Ray Kurzweil has famously expressed that AGI machines could become so smart that they surpass human intelligence, leading to a singularity where they gain the ability to create even more intelligent systems that humans cannot control or predict. Both criticism and support of the singularity narrative has been raised from various angles. Some people think it's just a myth or a scary story, while others worry that it is likely to happen despite our best efforts to prevent it. Even if it seems unlikely, it's important to talk about the possibility of a technological singularity because there's still a very real chance that it could happen, as we cannot know for sure what the future holds for technology. When we talk about superintelligence, we are talking about machines that are much smarter than humans. This raises an important question: what if these machines decide that they don't want humans around anymore? It's possible that superintelligent machines might view humans as a threat and try to get rid of us. This is a serious concern that people are discussing, and it doesn't matter if this happens in 30 years or 3,000. Some scientists, such as Nick Bostrom, have even supposed that there might be a pattern in the universe that makes intelligent species discover AI and then destroy themselves, and that this could explain the Fermi paradox, the statistically improbable lack of evidence for advanced extraterrestrial life. If humans are yet to pass this great filter, we could be in for a major problem. The control problem refers to how we can keep humans in charge of an AI system once it becomes much smarter than us. It's also about making sure that the AI behaves in a way that aligns with human values, which is important because we don't want the AI to do things that seem good on the surface, but which have negative consequences we couldn't foresee. Whatever one's perspective, the singularity is a concept that makes us wonder about the potential of artificial intelligence. It's interesting to consider how our imagination has played a big role in this field since its inception, when researchers gathered for the Dartmouth Summer Research Project in 1955. Opinions about AI have changed a lot since then. We went from thinking AI is impossible in the 1970s to thinking AI will solve all problems in the 1990s, and now some people worry that AI may kill us all. These different views have caused a lot of attention in both film and in popular discourse, but we must also question how much of what we hear about the philosophy and ethics of AI is really about AI, or just about our imagination. Nevertheless, there are important questions concerning what we should do with AI systems, what the systems themselves should do, and what risks they pose in the long run. These questions have challenged the idea that humans are bound to be the most intelligent and powerful species on Earth. We must keep an eye on new developments in technology and society. We must analyze these developments, and we must learn from traditional philosophical problems to ensure we handle the dangers wisely. And that's it for this video. If you enjoyed this topic and would like to learn more, please check out our video on the philosophy of artificial intelligence, linked in the description. If you'd like to support the channel to continue making videos, please consider liking, commenting and subscribing with notifications on. You can also buy us a coffee at the link in the description, if you so wish. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.